Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Under-18 Open Championship Grand Final between the Otahuhu Leopards and the Richmond Bulldogs. See the teams on screen here now. Otahuhu, number 1, Xavier Stevens-Te'o. The wingers, Malitoa and Laumapi Finau. And Tolfa in the centres. In the halves, Tonga and Waipori. The engine room, Kepu and Lui Toiava. Whakosalea, Siki, Palu, Taihia, and on the bench, Hafia, Collins, Tuamotu, and Noa. And for the Richmond side at the back, Schuster. The wings are Asa and Kamu. The centres, Tofu and Fatu. In the halves, Jacob and Tepululu. Up front in the engine room, Lavakula, Ta'a Liota. Charlie Liota is the other front rower. The hooker is Tomasi Skelton. In the back row, Dayton, Iariko, Samisi. Pesi locks the scrum, and on the bench, Lokeni Tama, Wakatui, Smith, Charlie, and Tanuvasa. And coached by Dave Tonga. Richmond coached by Alan Ettles and Tonu Tuali'i. Match officials for this Under-18 Grand Final. Middle referee is Joseph Green. He's assisted by Kevin R. Ken and Simon Tasker. This is our last Grand Final of the day, the last of 4. So we await kickoff. So here we go, the Under-18 Championship Grand Final, and it will be Richmond with first use of the ball. Oh, huge hit to open the game, and that is dished out via Tuamotu. Straight into it we go. Of course, so many of these boys currently signed up to NRL development systems. They've come through the SAS College Rugby League system as well. A number of current players in that comp. In terms of Youth Rugby League in Auckland, this is the pick of the bunch as we see a good kick, but it's fielded on the full by Stevens-Te'o, who breaks through one and gets up to halfway. That is a brilliant kick return to open the game from the Otahuhu custodian. But we'll have an error in there. They didn't get the play of the ball right, and the ball will be turned over, referee Green. So Richmond to pack down the scrum right on halfway here. Really good crowd in today. The banners are all up. It's been a big day here at Mount Smart Stadium. We've seen the grand finals for the under 14, under 15 and under 16 competitions. So the scrum packs down, and Otahuhu will get into their work now defensively. Jeremiah Schuster, the Mount Albert Grammar first 13 player. A number of Mags boys in the squad as well. Their grand final bound in the school comp as well. So they'll be back here in a week and a half's time. Now knocked forward from Otahuhu, and it was Tahia who was pressuring. So a glut of possession to start the game for Richmond.
Caleb, last one, lad. 36, I pay you in. And Caleb, get in.
So scrum packs down, and ball eventually comes out, and it is Nella Tofu takes him forward inside the 20 now. Pissy, the St. Kennigan's product, he's currently signed up to the New Zealand Warriors. Made his debut on Saturday for the Jersey Flegg side for the Warriors. Pissy shifts the ball wide, and now Schuster joins in on the play, and they go wide and bundled into touch. So Otahuhu, despite shooting themselves in the foot a couple of times to start this one, good defense on the line there. And Troy, that's been a common theme today, Otahuhu and good defense. That was incredible in that last match to get up and beat the favourites, Manurewa. It was a defensive masterclass from the Leopards.
And funny you should mention that. I said the same thing to the captain at the end of the game. I mean, defence wins games, and the first thing he said was, thank you, Mount Richmond, because they'd spent most of the pre-season up there. So whatever they're doing down there in regards to that, it certainly worked, and that was one of the things that he paid tribute to. And I won't be surprised if you see another titanic effort in regards to defence from this Otahuhu side. Their technique and their ability is, see, big strong carry there from front right, and
penalty as well.
Penalty, got it. Is they're renowned for it, and don't be surprised if we see another titanic effort in regards to Otahu's tackling today. And I also have to say, under 18, I wasn't sure there was under 1,800 kilos, because there's some big units on the ground down there today.
So nice carry forward from EJ Louis Toyava there to earn his side the penalty. And now the Leopards with their first proper use of the footy in this game. Keep an eye on Manasi Whakaosalia at dummy half. We've called him a couple of times in action for Otahuhu College. He is a live wire out of the bottom of the ruck, and off the back of a huge forward pack today, he will be a key figure. His little darting runs and the way he dominates the ruck. Now shuffles play on, and the Leopards are going to move the ball around a little bit here now and escape down the right, but it's bundled into touch. So good defense from both sides early on here, and they each shut down an attack with good sliding defense that forces the attacking player into touch. And this will finish with Richmond packing down the scrum right about on the 25-metre line. If you are just tuning in, it's been a big day here at Mount Smart Stadium, number 2. We're into our 4th grand final. Streaming live on aucklandleague.co.nz and around the Pacific as well. A big shout out to you wherever you are watching in the world as Derek Fatu takes the ball up over the 40. Big contact in the middle of the park, and the ball carrier was Lavakula Tawa Toa.
Oh, nice little drop on the inside. Great running too.
Carried forward there from Samisi. Shuffle it wide. Tepu Lolo goes up, and it's well fielded by Otahuhu. And they will now work it out. These two sides, real traditional heavyweights at this level, aren't they, Troy? And from memory, the last few grand final days have featured these two sides, you know, at different times. I'm not sure they've always played up against each other, but real sort of heavyweights. And if you look at some of the talent that's come through these sides in the last couple of years, Joseph Luna, who's now playing NRL with the Warriors, the likes of Dylan Tavita, I believe, came through the under-18s here at Richmond as well, now playing for Point Chevalier. He's about to embark on the SAS Fox Memorial finals with the Pirates. So two clubs who always tend to do pretty well here, and of course they are stacked with talented juniors, both these sides. Two very proud clubs, both playing in the Auckland First Division up at the top, and it's no coincidence that they've got so many talented youngsters as well coming through the system. Look at both those sides in the Fox right now. They're pretty much all local juniors, really, in both of those sides now. As they get to a quick play of the ball, and Skelton is quick to jump off the back and gets the offload away as well. And now Pessy has his hands on the ball, and he might have a chance to extend the play here as well. Instead, he'll take the tackle. The 25 out from the line. Skelton clears the ruck, and now they'll come to this left edge. Otahuhu have pushed in, and as a result, there's a bit of a gap now out on this left edge, and a little bit of footwork from Tofu, who heads back infield. Tough to bring down. 5 out from the line. Schuster jumps into dummy half. Clears it. Finds his playmaker, Tipulalo, who shuffles play on. Space on the right edge. They'll score here, Richmond. Richmond will open the scoring, and it is down in the corner. Samuel Kamu, another of the Mount Albert Grammar boys, scores in the far right corner here. It's just nice ball movement. Let's take a look. In the Auckland Rugby League instant replay. Samisi, just a little footwork there, engages a defender, and then from there, all Fatu has to do is
off the line. Perfect.
sum it up and play it on. Samuel Kamu scores. Now, we call this guy at college rugby league level, and he plays in the forward pack at secondary school level, but out on the wing today, so he's obviously a fairly versatile player. He's always been damaging when we've called him this year. He'll be back in action.
Well, maybe some of the under 18-year-olds in the forward pack aren't in school anymore. Yeah, and we're saying about, you mentioned earlier around, you know, some of the greats that have come out of this age group, you know, especially between Richmond and Otahuhu. And the thing that's in a quirky little fact is both clubs have lots of hills around them. So I'm pretty sure the young fellas will be running up and down, getting very intimate with those hills and doing lots of pre-season work.
There you go, you've unearthed the secret.
Yeah, mate. Grayland Park and Bert Henman. Not a bad kick. Just under.
So score remain Richmond 4, Otahuhu 0. Just a shade under 10 minutes gone in this one. Both these clubs doing well across the grades, also in the Fairley Photos Women's Premiership. Of course, Richmond lost a thriller in the grand final to Manurewa, 20 points to 18 a couple of weekends ago here at this very venue.
Otahuhu were there, thereabouts, weren't they?
They were indeed, yep. Brought together a really good roster under Tuila Fotumawala this year, and a number of their girls have gone on to NRL contracts in the new NRL Women's Premiership.
They had a great linesman there too at Otahuhu. I can't remember her name.
Ball is taken forward now, and Richmond with a bit of a spring in their step. A bit of a roll on now, and
Great carry.
Leota charging forward.
Still going. Look at the strength.
He's a New Zealand gridiron representative as well, Leota, so I'm picking he's probably somewhere in the offensive or defensive line looking at that build. Certainly a very powerful character as Richmond flirt with danger down that left edge and come back towards the middle of the park, and it'll be a settler via Iriko. He's set upon by 3 blue jerseys and taking the ground. They flick it out the back now and get to the kick in behind, but it's well fielded. That is good stuff from Stevens Te'o, who has got some real pace about him. Already seen him return a kickoff for 40 metres on his first touch of the game, so watch for his impact in this one as well, as Finau gets driven back. Viliami Finau, product of the Auckland Vulcans system here at the Auckland Rugby League. Watch out for them in action again at the National Youth Tournament in a couple of weeks' time. And Richmond up inside the 10. So Otahuhu now with a chance just to settle things down. Haven't been down this end of the park much so far, so kick for touch off the boot of Waipori.
It's Richmond giving away their second penalty too in this stanza.
Holding for the foot. Waiting, go.
Big contact and up out of the line. Came the Richmond boys, and now there'll be big contact again, I dare say, and really good carry forward there from Lui Toiava. Whakaosalia jumps off the quick play of the ball. He gets decked for his troubles. Leota The man dishing out the punishment on that occasion. 10 out from the line now, the Leopards. Starting to build quite nicely for them. Stevens Te'o looms in the background, and they keep play alive with a flick out the back. Dancing through and eventually taken the ground by Schuster was the halfback, Waipori. Tonga goes to the line, Sam Tonga. That's got to be double movement. Time off, we're going to check. But I would think that looked very much to me like double movement. As we wait to hear our referee.
Alright, time's on.
Yeah.
And yes, indeed, double movement. It was a pretty clear-cut one in the end, wasn't he? Just couldn't help himself. Troy got that
No,
close
it's
to the
hard
line.
to do.
Nah, he had it.
Yeah, and he's still questioning it.
Well, he's got no case to argue, unfortunately, on that one, because
Oh, don't be so mean,
as
Corey.
far as double movements go, that's about as clear as they come. So Richmond now will kick for touch, and they'll chew off 20-odd metres there. Shout out to the ball boys and girls in action today as well. They're working hard, fetching the Steeden footballs, and big shout out to Steeden as well, the official ball supplier of the Auckland Rugby League. So Sinesi restarts the set now for Richmond, and Whakaosalia just got caught in the ruck there a little bit, and around too long. And Jason Tolfa now over to question the decision, but Green's not having any of it and sends him on his way. So really, they've gone 40 metres without even having to do any work there. Richmond just through poor discipline from the Leopards, a double movement and then a ruck infringement. Short, and it was a flat ball at best to Sinesi. Pessi. Down the left edge again. They're liking what they see on this left edge. They've visited a couple of times already. Now
Oh, is that a knock on? It is.
Tofu puts it down. So ball is handed over a couple of errors each way already in this one. But clearly liking what they see in terms of matchups down that left edge there, Richmond. And it's a side where Jacobs and Tofu live.
Hold it, Stephen. Okay, ball in. No! 15 here! Hold! Go one. And now Stephen! Lock in! Hold! Go two. Together! Square hold! Go three.
One tackle up the sleeve here at Otahuhu, and looking fairly good yardage. There's a good carry above the advantage line from Kenny Kepu.
Go four.
Whakaosalia on the right side this time, and they get to the kick as well, but back there to clean it up is Schuster. Really assured in his positioning there. He represents Akarana at under 17s level. He's also played for Samoa at the Pacific Youth Cup this year. As I mentioned earlier, he's part of that Mount Albert Grammar first 13 side, coached by Jason Williams, the Mayo Saints coach at SAS Foxmore Apprenticeship level. Fatu takes the ball up. He's tackled dead on halfway. And fresh legs on the park in the shape of Lokutui. Shuffle it on now. Schuster, quick hands now. They break out wide via Tofu. Tofu now ducking and diving, looking for a gap, but instead he's tackled, and that'll be a handover. So the play has died down that edge a couple of times now, a couple of errors, and that time tackled on the last, but plenty of traffic going that way for the Otahuhu defenders.
Hold square, hold. Go one. And now 15. Here, mate, here. Hold. Hold. Go two. 15, get closer. Okay. Up 15. Here, mate, here. Hold. Go three. Inside.
Get to the kick here, the Leopards, and that'll be up over the top of Schuster. He'll have to turn around here, and he'll be met by an enthusiastic chase. Both the centres up there in the frame.
Stand now, six. Hold square, hold. Go one.
Yeah, fantastic chase. Some of the Bulldogs are still coming back on side.
Move. Hold square. Hold, hold. Go two.
Good defence down low, and they chop Otahuhu down. Stop him in his tracks that time, right on the 40. Now Kamu comes in looking for a bit of work. Breaks through a couple and then he gets cannonballed down low. Back up to his feet. Shift it to the right now, and they get to the kick. Back to receive it as Stevens Te'o, who then gets driven back another 5. It's a good kick chase there from Richmond.
Great little run here.
Down the left edge they go. Otahuhu, and does well to stay on the field of play eventually. Schuster is the tackler down low. They want to quick play the ball here, Otahuhu. Fakosalia now will straighten. Third tackle, so tackles up the sleeve here, the Leopards, and really good carry forward from Laumapi. Back to the middle of the park it comes, and this you would think will have to be a settler here as he bumps
big
off
hit.
one and
It's dropped it.
yep, put it down
Dropped
to the
it cold.
contact. Big contact and around the ball carrying arm there, and it forces the error. That's good stuff from Richmond.
Depends on the tackle, mate. Who wins. Yeah, you get more time. Yeah, okay. Out!
Oh, you can hear that impact from here.
Good line speed from the Leopards. Nice and disciplined in the middle of the park. And Fakosalia gets down and put the leg lock on him. That's going to be a penalty. It was a late call. I did wonder if he was square.
Second one for the Bulldogs. Penalty. 2 apiece.
Take your time, mate. When you're ready.
Kick for touch. Lands about 35 out.
Hey, fellas, here. Hold for the foot. Wait. Go.
So fresh legs on the park in the shape of Warren Smith, another of the Vulcans graduates. As we see a lovely short ball at the line. That's nice stuff, and it's a spirited carry from Semesi, which will take Richmond to inside the 10. Schuster now gets on the end of a quick play. The ball, Schuster darts out, but he's met by 3 tacklers. Kamu now trying to keep him in the field of play. It won't work. Out he goes. So it wasn't a bad thought there from Schuster, but really, by the time the 3rd tackler joined in, he was helpless to stop himself being dragged over the sideline there. So end-to-end stuff here, and both sides coming up with some good results defensively. A little interesting fact on Warren Smith, who's fresh on the park. He actually spent the off-season with the Wigan Warriors Academy, so not something you hear every day from an Auckland Rugby League player. And he did represent the Vulcans back in 2017. Wigan Warriors, now there's a club with a proud Kiwi connection, Troy.
Absolutely, mate. You have some strong players coming out of there. Dean Bell, captain.
More recent times, the likes of Fekapali Asina, Jerry Siusiu and Tommy Luluwai. And Tommy Luluwai has really become a cult hero there. He's
Yeah,
very much at
absolutely, yeah.
home there now. His wife, of course, from over there, and he's very much become part of the furniture in that part of England.
Yeah, strong legacy of Kiwis at Wigan. Graham Lowe, ex-coach.
So they get to the kick here now, and it's a bit of a scuffed one, really, and a difficult one nonetheless, but it's fielded well by Asa, who's one of the captains of this side. 2 wingers captaining this Richmond side. I wouldn't imagine that would happen too often. Nice bit of second phase, and now Otahuhu gets on the ball. Dancing footwork, just looking for a gap. Back to the middle they come. Iriko, who plays at the line. Second phase, still alive here, Richmond. There's a gap up the middle of the park. Dancing through it is the
So
number
close.
9. Skelton, who goes within half a metre. They clear the ruck. Otahuhu are up quick. Space on the right edge. Brilliant scramble from the Leopards. Kamu will clear. We'll go back to the middle. It's messy. It's been missed by everyone, I think. This should be play on.
Both ways. Knock on.
And if I heard correctly there, I think I heard first from Otahuhu. So it will be a Richmond feed. So they'll be disappointed with that one after a brilliant defensive set, really, where they scrambled so well. Loose ball on the ground. They come up with the error. So Tipu Lolo to feed the scrum. That was from Massey High School, where he plays in the first 15. Now,
Fingertip stuff.
beautiful stuff, and Richmond are in again. Nalatafu with the late offload, and Jeremiah Schuster is the man who finishes it off. Let's take a look on the replay here.
He managed to just pull that in by the end of his fingertips too, that final pass.
Hits the line really hard here, and it's a nice little wraparound play which gets rid of one, and the little bit of footwork, the fend, and
Look at that.
oh, was it forward?
Well,
Borderline.
Whistle's blown.
So maybe lucky to get away with that one. Of course, you can't really tell on the television cameras. The angles can be a little deceiving, but did
And we
look
have
as
the
if...
luxury of these replays as well too.
That's right, absolutely. And our referees down there tasked with making the call on the spot. Jacobs to Templar. Conversion from in front.
The birds are chirping in the background there.
Maybe picking that up on your audio as step in and extend the lead to 10-0 here at Mount Smart Stadium. So it is Richmond in control so far, and they were the runners-up in this competition in the regular season, although they had the best attack. They average a rather incredible 34.5 points scored per game this year, which is pretty impressive. And then Otahuhu, well, they were the minor premiers. They had the best defence, so a fitting match-up here in the grand final. And there's the Leopards who are up against it right now. 35-minute halves in this one, which means we're inside the final 9 minutes or so of the first stanza. And so far, well, the Leopards haven't done a lot wrong, but have been burnt twice. Some classy play from Richmond, and this won't help. Penalty, blowing 30 out from the line. Out to question the call is Jason Tolfa, Mangere College boy. Represents Counties Manukau at rep level, and he's part of the Warriors development system as well. And, we do have the
That's not a
Vodafone
bad
Warriors
kick.
down here pitch side today. Jordan Friend handing out some of the prizes to our man of the match in the respective grand finals. And Tofu will tap and restart now, and Iriko will barge this one forward, and the edge back rowers in particular, Troy, starting to do some real damage for Richmond right now as they dart out down the left-hand side and wisely head back in. 3 Leopards defenders on hand. Iriko again, so close. In fact, he's over the line, but tilted over onto his back. They'll clear the ruck now, and it's up the middle via Warren Smith. Numbers to the right. Pessy goes back door to his half-back, flat at the line, and that was probably a key knockdown there, Troy. I think Richmond probably score in the right-hand corner if that ball isn't touched. So, although it will be 6 again, he's probably saved his team a try there, and I think it was Viliami Finau racing up out of the line that got the touch, or it may have been Stevens Te'o. Either way, it'll be a Richmond scrum, 15 out from the line.
Stevens, wait, mate. I'll tell you when. Okay, in you go. Out! That's okay.
Richmond settle one off the scrum.
Go one.
Skelton to Pessy. He's been pretty impressive early in this one. That's great defence from Otahuhu, and they're driving back for negative yardage in the end. Iriko, he looks dangerous every time he carries right now, and once again he will go very close to the line. He's got that rangy build and got a decent fend on him. He's able to keep those would-be tacklers at distance. Tepulolo plays at the line and brings the other back rower, Semesi, in. Little dart, and then goes the opposite way, and then right up at the line. Pessy, that's a lovely wraparound. Could be on in the left-hand corner here for Richmond. Tafu hands it off. Asa heads back in field. The rushing defense of Otahuhu gets him. Great defense from the Leopards.
So you see a wee bit of a common thread coming through on the D from the Otahuhu Leopards.
Yep, exactly. And as you mentioned in the earlier game, Troy, sometimes these things are about club culture. It's not just about individual teams. It's, I guess, what you build your club around. And we see that at the Melbourne Storm, where for the best part of 2 decades, you know, they have been just so good at defence. And basically, you don't go there if you're not good at defence. And I guess if
you don't go there if you've got the wrong attitude. And that's what defence is about, is attitude. And they bring bucket loads of it.
We saw it in the earlier game, the desperation on the line, the scrambling. And once again, we've seen it from Otahuhu. They're still 10-0 down, mind you.
And this, is that an error? It is.
Oh, so an interesting call there. Got them for a knock-on. I actually thought it might have been a shoulder charge at first, but Richmond ball.
Oh, that's heartbreaking stuff. You know, when Richmond have had the ball, they've been in the right place, they've been in the right territory. Every time Otahuhu's got it there, they've been grinding it out from inside their 20, or as you just seen there, you know, silly mistake, and we're in the scrum and Richmond have the feed. Oh, and they get the get out of jail card.
On cue.
You know, let's not say anything from this scrum, right?
Oh dear. Who would be a coach? That's got to kill you.
Who would be a commentator? Seriously. I love my groundsman activities at the end of this match. Nothing can give me more than a big thrill of being able to pick up my bolsters, get ready for next week's play.
Yeah, back in action next week as well on the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership, part of our live stream coverage next week. Really looking forward to those games. Point Chevalier up against Glenora, and Northcote up against Howick, and boy, oh boy, that was big contact, and
penalty.
It was a legal contact as it is. So Otahuhu to kick for touch.
Well, it wouldn't be the only reason you'd be excited, Corey. You're with the big boys next week. Sai gets sacked, benched, and Kauai Productions come into play.
Yeah, looking forward to calling the match with Dale Husband. And the real veterans of rugby league broadcasting, given so much to the game over the years, Dale Husband, and Of course, he's always been around the Otahuhu club as well, so may even be tuning in today. As they march forward now, ball comes loose. And it is picked up by Richmond, who now look to go straight on the counter. Boy, they're super aggressive today, Richmond. Any opportunity given, they are heading out to that left edge. And, both those Fox games next week, Troy, they shape as interesting ones. Point Chevalier are going to come into the finals off back-to-back defeats to Mount Albert and Howick, and Glenora, well, they come in off 17 straight victories. So some interesting dynamics at play there, but you do get the feeling Point Chevalier will save one of their best performances for this weekend. As Richmond head back infield via Asa. Look to the sky, and at the back is Stevens Teo, and that is brilliant fullback play. And I tell you what, he wears a big shot for his troubles, nothing nasty on it. And we're going to have time off here, but that was solid contact. And what about the bravery of Stevens Teo to take that one?
Okay, we're having a lot of penalties going both ways, okay? We need to sort this out, or someone may go short this time. Okay?
Just caution towel there, Corey.
Yeah, referee Green saying we've had a lot of penalties both ways, and just wanting them to tidy things up, of course. No referee wants to be blowing his whistle more than he has to, so Otahuhu now to kick for touch, and time back on. About 2 minutes to play here at Mount Smart Stadium. How the Leopards would love a try right on the break. They're right in this one. They just need to start completing a few more sets. Really build off the defensive confidence as they break down the right edge now through the back rower. This is CK who hands it off, and now Stevens Teo joins in. The Leopards are in. And Otahuhu are on the board. Xavier Stevens Teo scores in the far right corner. Let's take a look how it happened. It all starts with this break from Semesi CK. Gets put into a gap nicely by his front rower, Louis Toyava. And he shows some good pace here, Troy. And he always knows he's got his fullback, Lumen, and
Executed that beautifully through the defender. Put the fast man away.
runs it around. So, how important will that try be in the context of this game? And you mentioned the kick as well. Chance to make this a 4-point gap. You can't have long left in the half. 35-minute halves at this level. And, to attempt the conversion is Waipori.
Okay, Hooters coming up not long after this kick. Corey?
So this will probably be the final play of the game by the time we get back to halfway. Waipori strikes it, and it is away. So it will be Richmond who take a 10-4 lead into halftime here in the Under-18 Championship Grand Final. Don't go far, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a very short break, but there is a big, big second half coming up here at Mount Smart Stadium in the final game of our coverage of all the grand finals today. Back in a few minutes.
Loose carry, mate. Loose carry. And that one I ruled loose carry.